Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, and for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Peace be to the brethren, and love with faith, from God the Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Grace be with all them that love our Lord Jesus Christ in sincerity. Amen.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. How is everybody doing? Today we got a little bit of wonder for you. So, yep. Oh, remember those links I asked for? I am so sorry. I did not send them. Okay. But you know what? We're going to get some stuff up. How is everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Make sure that you please share out the broadcast. Send it over to from D Live. Send it over to the Telegram channel. Send it over to Facebook. You know, the whole thing. The whole thing. So let me just let's just do this. I am so excited. Today is Tuesday. Guess what Tuesday is? Tuesday is Touch by Prayer. That's right. And I am so excited. Touch by Prayer tonight. You know what? It is going to be fantastic. It is going to be so fantastic because I actually have a friend of mine coming on, and she is going to talk about heaven. That's right. I have Kim Robinson coming on. She is the author of Heaven is Real and Fun. Last time that she was on, we talked about her book, Jesus Sat on a Stump, which is a incredible vision that she had with the Lord, where he took her to heaven and he showed her all the children who were aborted, and it was just so powerful. So good morning. Let's see who is in the chat. Now I sound like Oprah. Good morning, AF reporting for duty. Good morning, beautiful Karen. How are you? Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Uncle Larry's in the house. Good morning to M. Reelan. Good morning. There is Tara. Good morning. Janae is here. The birthday girl is here. That's right. It is Amy Rogers' birthday, so we're going to have a little special birthday thing for her. So excited. She's my girl. She's my spiritual daughter. So love her. And I am so excited. Let's see who else is here. Let's see. Good morning. Is that Nikki? Yes. Good morning, Nikki. Yep. Okay. Good morning, Julie. We're going to bring Julie up in just a second. Good morning. Because we got Julie Lavender in the house. Julie Lavender is in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Rebecca, Warrior Poem. Good morning. There she is, Derek Lynn. Good morning, Lila. Good morning. Happy birthday. We're wishing Amy Rogers a happy birthday. Preacher's kid is in the house. The family is here. We are going to pray for you, Pumpkin. Good morning, Lazarus James. We will pray for her. She is under the weather. I'm not gonna say that you're really sick. We're gonna say you're under the weather. That's what I'm gonna say. Because we're not going back there. Can I just say that? You're not going back there because you got stuff to do. Anyway, Good morning, good morning, good morning. Please go ahead, share out the broadcast, send the love. Let's go ahead. Let's do a special little birthday for Miss Amy Rogers, because that is what we do here. That is what we do here on the Crown Chats. We get a little birthday thing going, and let's start that off. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
You know what? I'm just going to lower this.
Happy
And we're
birthday
going to just do that. There we go. Happy birthday, my beautiful, beautiful Amy. Okay. We will deal with some prayers in just a second. So let's just stick to birthday blessings for Amy Rogers. We love Amy. Amy is a part of our Crown Chats family. She's a part of my family. I'm so blessed and honored to have her in my life. I'm so honored to be given the ability to speak into her life and to love on her. She is one of my spiritual kids, and she is just amazing. I know that things she is starting to, if you guys don't watch her, you need to. She does a broadcast called Second Breakfast, which is right there. So you can always find her if you go over to her D Live channel, which is Raw and Real Ministries. So go ahead. If you guys have any words for her, you can go ahead. I'm going to bring Julie Lavender in so she can wish some happy birthday as well. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're gonna wish a little happy birthday to Miss Amy Rogers, and we're gonna see that is the link. If you guys like to go over, you can go over there. Okay, so for Miss Amy, my goodness, because I know her so well, and the thing I keep hearing, Amy, is change, change. You're going through some changes, and changes are not fun. Changes are not fun, but I'm hearing the change has just begun. And so I'm hearing all of these songs. I'm hearing David Bowie's Changes, and I'm also hearing You've Only Just Begun to Live. Oh, man. Oh, I'm going to cry. You've only just begun to live. That there have been so many promises that God has spoken over you, and you have not lived them out. And I believe you're coming into your season where you're going to start living out those promises, because as I heard, you've only just begun to live. And I just feel that there's this big, huge, momentous push that is just, it's just like when you're about to give birth to a baby. It's just like this birthing of those promises, of those dreams, of the things that you've been holding on to, that they're coming through. I can just see them coming through, because as I'm hearing this Carpenter song, I could just feel the Father's heart, that you felt like there were so many times that you were going to die, that you weren't going to be able to birth the dreams and the visions and the things that God has placed inside of you. And you're like, I just can't do this anymore. And I just had a friend whose daughter just went through a very, very difficult labor and delivery. And that's been you, honey. You have just been pushing and trying to hold on and keep that smile and stay positive. But the enemy has really been going after you. And I just hear the Lord saying, no more. Woo! I feel that so strong. No more. No more. It's over. And now is the time of you, just like the Israelites had to go through all those different battles that in order to get to the promised land. And I can see the crossing over, Pumpkin. You're crossing over into your promises, into that promised land, because God has not forgotten you. He has not forgotten you, and He is going to move you, and He is going to show you that. I know you're crying. I can feel it. You are this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. There has been so much that has been tried to stop you and block you, because the things that you are called to do are that powerful that the enemy does not want you to be seen. And so we're just blessing you, Amy. We are blessing you in your ministries, and Raw and Real, may it prosper, may it grow, may your voice become a voice to the nations, that people can hear you just like they're hearing you on Australia, that they're going to hear you in New Zealand, and they're going to hear you in Africa, and they're going to hear you in Israel, and they're going to hear you in the Netherlands, and they're going to hear you in I'm hearing Greenland. I don't know. Um, I also see that Scotland and Glasgow and all of these different places that you have been pulling from, you're about to start pushing into, that you're going to start releasing the stuff inside of you, and you're going to start to bless. And I see that Papa's going to start opening up some doors for travel for you in greater measures, where it seemed like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to go here, maybe I'm supposed to go here. It's going to be rock solid. It is going to be so rock solid that you're not going to have to question. It's going to be that solid, because Papa's going to put his handprint and he's going to sign it, and you're going to know it, and you're not going to have to worry about it. And there is going to be this new expanse of places and spaces and even people that are going to come into your life to help you to get to different locations. So I just bless you. I just bless you in everything, in every situation. I just bless you. I bless your health. I come against that spirit of infirmity that's trying to come back in and stick its finger back into your eye and saying, you're not well. And I tell it to go right now in Jesus' name. It has no right, no authority. We break off any kind of what's it called? Histamine or anything that's been trying to come against your sinuses, trying to come against your day of celebration. Because today, Pumpkin, everybody is celebrating. Your mom and dad are celebrating. They're celebrating today that you were born. Today is the day that they are celebrating that you were born. And so expect some kisses from heaven. We just bless you. We bless your family. We bless your health. We bless your finances. And we bless your destiny. We bless your destiny. So I love you. I don't know. So Amy is with Raw and Real Ministries, and she has a broadcast. I think you might have seen her, Julie, because I think that I've brought her on a prayer. I think so, and she is a prayer warrior, and she's an incredible. What now?
I think was that one of our last preemptive strike prayer things.
I think I don't know. She was definitely on board, but today is her birthday, and so here on Crown Chats, we give some prophetic words, and
I'm calling you on your birthday. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I hope so. I hope that you do. You can come celebrate your birthday. I love you, Amy. So today is wait, is this it? I think, did you AF, did you do it? Did you load it up? I think this is it. Just making sure. Let me see here. It's loaded in the video clips. Perfect. So it's over on the side, over above Julie. Is that correct? I'm just making sure, because we got something. Okay. Or do I have to pull it down? Oh, you'll trigger it. Perfect. Okay. So here we go. He's going to trigger it because we got something.
A maze of extraordinaries. And hidden in the zany maze that is you, I'll be blunt, there's a treasure that's worth the hunt. You're a maze of mysteries and doubts. You're a maze of ups and downs and outs. You're a maze of possibilities. You're a maze of extraordinaries. There's a treasure that is hidden in you. Yes, it's true. You're amazing. No, you're amazing. I'm amazing? Mm-hmm. And I'm amazing.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So fun! Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh, that tickled my heart. That is a song called You're a Maze. A-maze.
Mhm.
Amazing, because it went with this book. That's a theme song that went with Mrs. Amazing and the Seed. And all the kids, when they read this book, they say, why is she called Mrs. Amazing? Why are you called Mrs. Amazing? Why are you calling it? Because it's about a family called the Faultsome family. And it's all about their faults. And they have all these different issues. And so I wrote the book about what it's like to be human, and having all these things and what makes you amazing, what makes somebody amazing. And there's a line in the song that says, we're all sloppy like a wet dog kiss. You might think there's just no hope. You're a screw up and a great big dope, but join the club, oh my friend. This is the glory of being human. And so it was a song to go with all the characters in this book. And my vision was that people who bought the book and got the audio book and bought the adventure, you know, after the kids learn the book, I'll ask when I would do readings with kids, I'd say, well, who's your favorite? You know, and they would all pick a favorite, and a lot of times it would be somebody like them. Like, this is the oldest girl, Constance, and she's the type A #1, and always trying, you know, picking up after her brothers and having to be perfect. And then she's got two twin brothers. Chance blows up things just to see how they work. And then there's the nerdy, you know, musician introvert, and who loves dictionaries, loves to read the dictionary, and his cello. And then there's Chief, the little bossy freckled guy who Conrad Chief, his nickname is Chief because he wants to run the show. He doesn't want to be left out. And then we've got Cornelius, the hound dog. And the mom, Faye, she leans out over the edge of anything that's possible just to see where she can find the realm of wonder. And her long-suffering husband, Frank, in the background, who, you know, is all about being the stable one in the whole family. So when I read the book, everybody identifies with somebody. And then I'll say, well, who's your favorite? And they'll pick one. And so when I wrote the song, I imagined kids in the car hearing about the different verses and going, oh, that's you. Oh, no, that's you. No, oh, that's you. So really fun song.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought I was like, oh, so AF and I collaborated, and we put that little thing together. And so when we do It's a Wonder, we'll bring that out.
Well, and
a word of wonder.
They're sitting on my piano. I just got it tuned. And
it sounds great. Well, if you want to sing,
so you're sitting. Not right now. I you know, believe it or not, I stopped playing piano for a long time to work on my guitar, and that's what I've been doing my concerts with, is playing guitar. And I just pulled out some music that I wrote the other day, and I thought, I got to learn this again. So it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
I gotta say thank you to Larry Norris, because he was at that Reawaken conference in Virginia, and he started telling all the influencers he was around about my book. This one that we've been talking about, Constance in the Battle for Wonder, right? Which is part of the series. All those characters you just saw were written down so they're younger. So instead of being 16, she's like 12, and all the boys are 8, and then the little Chief is 4 or 5. And so I'm really excited, because when he told them about the book and how it mirrors the things that the kids are going through right now, we're all going through with the gray glasses everybody has to wear in case they might see color and get a plague. And he gave me some great contacts. And, that's an answer to prayer because you guys prayed and you've been praying for the project. And I'm going to be circling back with all those people later this week. And I'm hoping I'll get some really good interviews.
Well, I think if CJ especially would be, I didn't even think about CJ, but we'll talk. But
Yeah,
but CJ,
she's actually an agent, right? So
yeah, she's an agent. She's a publicist. That's
yeah,
what she
so
does.
there's the contacts that I will follow up on directly, but then
Yeah,
I would love to have her go out and open some doors too. That would be great.
absolutely. Hey, listen,
Who
this is.
doesn't need a good publicist?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's always good to have people in your corner and to help to expand the vision that the Lord has given you, especially with your book, because it is definitely a kingdom agenda. It is a kingdom agenda to expand people's vision of how God moves, and it's not just in this and thous and those. It's actually in a language that people can understand, that it's sometimes even hidden. Jesus spoke in parables, and I kind of feel like your wonder book is kind of a parable. It's to have the meaning of kingdom, but it's kind of hidden in a story. So
Yeah, I see a couple of questions here.
yep.
I started writing. Well, this one was published in 2018 and became like the source material for a whole other jump off world. And this then is a 5-book series, and called the Amazing Series. And the whole point of it is the only thing that makes these people amazing is that they're the only ones who dare to believe in this realm called wonder that no one believes exists. And they're sending all the children up to the grown-up factory every day to have their imaginations crushed so they'll conform to the prescribed order. The prescribed order operation, which is Mrs. Folsom calls it the poo, because they go get the poo. And this family dares not to send their kids there, but they come after them, right? They were like, it's not okay for everybody not to be in the pool. And so we start this world here, and then I was challenged to write the characters down in age, so that because it's 3rd through 5th grade kids that are buying all the books now, and primarily girls like to read, although boys are really strong in my books. And so what would happen if they were a little younger and we had her going off to explore the grown-up factory because she just wants to make a friend and she wants to see how the other half lives? And what would happen if behind the scenes she was really targeted and her family was targeted? So that's what happens in Constance in the Battle for Wonder. And at this point, my illustrator, who did all of these wonderful black and whites, she did color ones for me. So this is all in color. And the reason why it's important is because this is a story about a family. They're the only people who can see color in the town. You see how it's gray, and she's going off to get registered at the grown-up factory. And the big banner across the top says, "The order is the way." And they're the only ones that have color, wear color, enjoy color, because everyone else is colorblind. And that's exactly how the elders of the order like it. They want everyone living in the gray. They want everyone colorblind, because if you can see color, you're not far from wonder, which is the realm that they hate. There's the gray side and the bright side. And so there's this big battle between the two, and this family, and particularly this girl and her brothers throughout the different books, are caught right in the middle of the battle for Greystone Heights. And so I did, you guys know that my illustrator, who did all the originals for Mrs. Amazing and the Seed, there you go, for Mrs. Amazing and the Seed, and which is an awesome read. In fact, I've got a 28-day audio experience that you can get to turn it into a whole circus of things, or just a book. But this is a new one that I'm trying to pre-order, like 6,000 copies, try to get 6,000 sales. So this will be a #1 best-selling kids book. That would be awesome, right? That's what I'm doing for. It's going to be released in probably October, and that gives me time to get a lot of people to go and buy the book. If you get the copy, I'm kind of
Well, there we go. We are having some audio issues.
Yeah,
I was just saying,
because if you get the printed copy, it's $15.99, and you get all these big, huge, glorious illustrations. Let's see. I can't even. Everything's audio.
Is that better?
Yeah. So,
okay.
So my illustrator who did all the original illustrations for the book, as you can see, they're really colorful and beautiful. She died of what we believe is a vaccine injury because 51, no heart issues, double vaxxed, double boosted, dropped dead one day out of nowhere, and they have evidence of clots, And so ironically, the book was all about these issues. And so I was working with another fellow, and he gave me his first versions. And sad to say that he just didn't have the imagination that he could express in a way that was going to take people to the next place. Like when you have gorgeous illustrations like this, you got to make sure that when you carry on, your kids are not disappointed by what comes afterwards, right? That they get better and they become more alive. But I was praying about it, and I talked to a young woman in Australia who I am about ready to enter into a contract with. And she asked to read the book first. So, like my other illustrator kind of knew where I was coming from. So it'll be really interesting to see if Australia illustrator, because when you read the books, you get what I'm saying. You get the cautionary tale about the deep state and all that. Kids get it in a different way. I don't hit them over the head with it, and I use metaphors, right, to explain. So it's very creative and inventive. But so it'll be interesting to see if how she reacts, because I met her on Zoom the other night. She's like 13 hours ahead. So I was up at 10 at night, and she was like 11 a.m. her morning. And she was nice, but she's not like a buddy. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And she might
be. You might convert her to become your buddy.
You're very persuasive. My original illustrator didn't know Jesus when I first met her, so now she's in heaven with him. So, Oh, Lisa, I gotta plug in my computer.
Is that what the problem is?
Well, it could be because I just been looking up. I'm getting a low battery thing. So take me off the screen for just a minute while I plug it.
You got it. No problem. So there you go. We'll have her back in just a second. But that's the really cool part about Kingdom, is that Kingdom is ever expanding. It's ever expanding. We never ever have to limit what God wants to do. And there are so many of you out there. There are so many people out there who have books, who have stories, who have podcasts, who have songs. Come on. There are a lot of people out there that are supposed to be singing, who are supposed to be worshiping. But what happens? It's because of those things, those signs, and the people, the false labels that people put on other people, and it kind of gets you detracted and distracted. And so sometimes we need to have a woman at the well experience. What is that? Well, a woman at the well, if you go back and if you read, Jesus met a woman who was a Samaritan because he needed to go into Samaria. And so he met this woman at the well. in John and the book of John. But what was so cool is he knew everything about her, but yet she wasn't disqualified. He did not disqualify her based on the stuff that she did. And so this September here in New Jersey, we want you to meet me at the well. That's right. We are having a women's conference. It is this September 23rd through the 25th. It's at Harvey Cedars Bible Conference Center. It is going to be powerful. It is going to be amazing. Speaking of amazing, it is going to be amazing. It has Kelly McCann. It has Tony Impson, Lila Shaw. It has Robin Fields, and it also has the wonderful Debbie Kitterman. So there you go. And then, of course, is going to be worship by Dr. Sheila Bruce. Holy moly. It is going to be so incredible. So if you feel like it's time for you to shake off the dust of your past and it's time for you to get refreshed in the water of the living God, that's right, Jesus Christ. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come together, gather together. We're going to pull off all that stuff that doesn't need to be there anymore to get you ready to step into your future. Because that's exactly what happened with the woman at the well. She saw Jesus, had this encounter. He took off all the labels and stuff from her past. He shook her off. And guess what? She was different. And she stepped into the destiny of who she was. I'm just saying. So there you go. I think Julie's back. Let me just bring her back up. So if you guys are interested, where'd you go? Julie, you're not here. Let's see. Let's try that again. Nope. Why do I not see Miss Julie? Let's see. We're going to do this. We're just going to remove her and we'll let her come back in. There we go. So yeah, honestly, that would be awesome. Yeah, Warrior knows. But I think what he's doing, Crambone, I think like he's trying to, I know he does some stuff for kids. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely worth trying to get in touch with him. I think that there's a lot of people that we can definitely reach out to, but it's all about connection. But when Julie comes back on, I'm going to share with her what I was seeing as she was talking and through the music, because see, God is always speaking. God is always trying to say, hey, how about this? Hey, how about that? Okay, there you are.
I'm on my phone now. My computer just completely is.
Died.
I've got the going on.
What the heck?
Well, I am up in the North Woods. See,
but that's okay. That's okay. So we got. So what I was saying is, while you were speaking and that song was going through my head, I think I was starting to see the different characters, with are you this, and this, like all the different characteristics of each of the characters in your book.
Right,
like,
right.
Do you feel bossy? Do you want to be the head of the family? And I could see just cutouts of all of these different characters coming in this video with who they are. That makes you amazing. Like, that's one of the things that, because as much as your books are dealing with very important and very controversial issues, there still is character and identity that's involved in each of your characters, and saying that it's okay to be you, that you don't have to be anything else, that, God doesn't want to take your personality and go, yeah, well, we're done with that. No, he uses your personality. He uses you because he doesn't want cookie cutters. He wants us to be unique and individual. And so each of your characters is unique and individual. So I started to see this video of each of the kids, so that with their characteristics. Are you this? With all the different characteristics, you might be a chief, then you might be, and you're amazing. But I saw all these different things, and I think we need to, I'll talk to you about something, but I'm putting together a little video.
I've got character sketches. I'm journals for each child, you know,
Yeah.
and with their character on it, and I can do. It has to do with, it's all about the marketing. God is giving me ideas, and the other thing I was going to tell you is that really deals with a character issue in the child as well. They have to deal with their character and their sin, and they're called to like interact with them and call them into something that they, like the book that I'm writing right now. So we have in this series Constance in the Battle for Wonder, which leads to the idea that there's more going on at the school than just learning and battle behind the scenes. And so that so there's that, and she makes a friend, but she winds up being betrayed by her very first new friend. And so in addition to the big battle of what's happening and the destiny of Greystone Heights, there's what's happening inside of Constance. A lot of issues, and she has to decide. She could just leave the school and leave the friend, gets hurt, and say, screw you, I'm going back, and I'll just keep Wonder to myself. But the book asks the question is, and then she has to decide whether she's, you know, what she's going to do about that. So, and then book 2, Constance and Chance, which is her brother who likes to blow things up just to see how they work, bang backlash. And what happens there is that when at the school, they realize that they need to try to get Constance under control. So they decide to her that there's no real meaning in the universe. But the elders of the order behind the scenes, they say, science is tricky. Because if you don't control the answer questions, so they try to set up the whole science fair in a way to get the children to have, and Constance's brother Chance is so upset about this, he brings in something from Wonder to prove that there's design behind the universe, and it goes very wrong, and he and his sister, so there's another character thing, and he creates a black hole, so the whole town is spinning around a black hole into, you know, to be what they think is, you know, deeply compressed matter. It's not a hole, it's actually just density beyond nothingness if you were ever under that kind of pressure. And yet something from this other realm, people in this town, and they feel love, and after that they start to see, and that's the way, and they start to ask questions. They start versus the gray side or the bright ideas. And then in book 3, which is Brother Charleston, who's the nerd, who reads the dictionary for fun. Constance is Bafflegab, which is what I was reading parts of that to you, Lisa. Bombastic Bafflegab propaganda. It's big, pushy language, lots of language, and Bafflegab is that, you know, sound really great, but they're just crap, essentially, which is her brother's word for what's happening. Her brother says, you know, do you know what's happening to our town? It's bombastic Bafflegab. Because book 3 is that when all the people start seeing bursts of color, the elders of the order realize that, and so they say, we can't tell these people they haven't seen color. We'll just tell them what it means. Tell everyone that a plague has leaked out of this black hole, and that it's dangerous, it can kill them all. Protect themselves is to wear gray glasses all the time so they won't see any color, because color's super dangerous. Now the town is blanketed with all of these messages about color and how color kills glasses. And if you were really good and you really cared about other people, you'd wear your glasses all the time. And who's the one this? The Folsom family. Except for their daughters off at the grown-up factory propaganda. So now there's a divide in the family between her brother, who knows this, he's totally afraid because she goes there every day and they tell her these things. So now we have facing with division over this whole thing we've been through, right? And so oops, wrong time. And so he starts a newspaper to tell that makes him public enemy number one. So we have all the issues of censorship and people tell the truth happens in book 3. And how does this family overcome? And how does this family overcome? Look at this. Look at, you guys should see this. My computer finally coming back and giving me an echo. So I'm going to cold boot it, turn it off.
Well, I was going to say the audio is better on the computer. So leave the computer audio and kill the audio on your phone.
I just turned it off. So I'd have to cold boot it. So
oh, no, you're fine. Well, that's bad. I think your audio got fixed though by that.
Wow. Well, how is this now?
Well, it's still your lip sync is off, but let's just keep speaking because it seems like you're still choppy.
Well, anyway, in book 4 that I'm finishing right now.
Yeah, reboot your computer.
I'm rebooting. Here we go. Ta-da! It'll just be a second.
Okay.
What happened? Children throw their glasses away. All the children in town. They say we don't want to do this. This is a lot. And don't we wish that all the children in America had gone into their schools and said we're not? Don't we wish that? Wouldn't that have been glorious if all the children everywhere said no, off their face diapers and well, that's the world I create in this book, like that, in a good way. Not, they obviously need parental and good leadership, but and so, but in the book that I'm writing, where Chief is featured, Constance and Chief and the bossy blind spot. I'm trying to pull you up. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's see if we can go back to that because that was much better.
Give me.
Oh, you're good. We'll get there.
Okay.
The thing that I have discovered is anytime I have any type of pushback or anything, it's just warfare. That's all. It's just warfare. So I just go, okay. We just, so Lord, we just thank you for this time. There we go. Let's see. Is that going to work? Yes. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to mute you. I'm going to bring you up here. Okay. Let me hear you.
Okay. How's this?
Yep. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to get you out. Okay. Now go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know which one you're doing. I'm muting my phone.
Yep. There you go. Much better.
Okay.
Yep. Did you mute it?
Yeah. So is it everything going? That's my computer there, but I'm still hearing a.
Turn off your phone. Like disconnect from it.
Oh, like say, turn it off. Like hit the button and turn it off.
Yep. Here, I'll do it. Hold on. I'm going to do it.
It's all right. It's gone.
Okay. Perfect. There you go.
Okay. So I don't know, was there anything worth repeating there, catching anybody up now that we have better audio?
I know, seriously. Well, I think that like the key about these books is it's a way to reach the children um, in uh, in in truth, but without being so political. They will make the connection. Like it doesn't take a brain surgeon to make the connection. And I believe that, kids are into fantasy because guess what? We were created to be amazing. We were created to be supernaturally amazing. And we were created to be filled with wonder. So there is all of these beautiful elements that are going to be pulled out because as I have said, and I've said this to you before, I see the amazing becoming a movie. I see it becoming a cartoon. I see it becoming something to help to explain, because sometimes putting the truth in its rare form is too difficult for somebody to grasp, because when you can see the effects that it's had in your life, especially if you've lost loved ones from something that was created to keep us in a place of bondage and in division, it's just too much. So if you take it and if you shift it into something that is just a little like outside of the box, but yet it still is truth, it's easier to say that's a lot like that, so you don't have to deal with the truth really smacking you in the face.
Yeah,
It's like
you want to reach people. You want to reach people before they have a chance to shut down emotionally
exactly,
or whatever, and to get them
exactly.
convinced that they want to be in your world. Even when we're having conversations with people, to say it's a good world to be in. You're safe here. You might think I'm a little strange, but you can come on in and be in this place with me. And so I try to do that with all my music and art. And you're absolutely right. Some adults need to read this book, which is going to be so interesting to see what happens with this illustrator in Australia, because I this book might be a little bit of a red pill for her, to be honest with you. But I did
Mm,
when I reached out to her. I said I have to, I'm looking for an illustrator because my illustrator died of a vaccine, COVID vaccine injury, and I just put it out there because I was testing. I was like, well, I wonder how she's going to respond to that. Just let you know what I see. And she said, oh, that's so tragic. But I think, some people need to know they can say what they think too. And that takes time. So the books are definitely for adults as well as kids. Um, and they're very, very important. This is what's interesting in the book that I'm 3 chapters away from finishing this 4th book, and I don't know how it's going to end. This one is the one where Constance and her littlest brother Chief, Constance in the bossy blind spot, wonder. What happens in book 4 is that after all the children take off their glasses, the elders of the order and the commissioner for color control, the CCC, they say, well, we have to lock all the kids in their houses because if they're not going to wear their glasses, we're locking them down. And so little Chief gets really mad and he says, why aren't the adults fixing this? Why have they locked us down? This isn't right. If they won't take care of it, I will. So he launches a plot to get all the kids breaking lockdown, gets into huge trouble. And when they realize, and they use that threat of kids breaking lockdown to roll out their prescribed safety eye drops. So that you see, if you just take our eye drops, you'll be colorblind permanently. You'll never see color. You'll be totally protected. And then you can take off your glasses and come outside. And then we can let the children out of their houses.
gosh,
And
that sounds so familiar, Julie. I don't know where I heard about this. It's like I think there's something about that,
right,
especially that
so
it was
Chief
kids
gets
who were like,
so
no.
and in this story, Chief takes things into his own hands because things get so out of control. He says, and he decides, for reasons you'll have to read the book to find out, that he's got to save everybody and keep his family out of trouble. because he created a problem. So he goes off to take the drops himself. And he comes back with big blind spots in his eyes. So he can't see anything past these blind spots. But here's the thing. What's his issue? His big blind spot is his bossiness. So it's all a book about his need to take control and boss everybody around because they're not fixing things. And so it's a book about his blind spot and his blind spots. And
It's funny. There's a scripture about that. Something about, I don't know, plank in your eye. Just saying.
yeah, but I mean, doesn't everybody relate to the frustration of they're not fixing things? I better take it into my own hands. And so I'm at the point now where his new friend Rocky Reyes, and so I've introduced somebody from a different culture and a different language background in this book, and I interject Spanish words with on and off to because my books are super vocabulary rich. Like when I was writing the other book about Charleston and his dictionary and the propaganda, I was all over vocab and integrating it in a way that kids could learn it in a fun way. Well, this one, now we have the two cultures, and we have Chief's best friend, Rocky. I've just written the part where Rocky says, well, Chief, if you really believed in wonder, why did you take everything in your hands? Do you really believe? You told me that there was this realm, and why? And look what your choices have done. And so now I'm at the part where there has to be a turnaround, and I don't know what it is.
It's going to be so good. So, do you want to read a little bit of Constance? Because everybody loves to listen to you read. Just saying.
Well, thank you. I want to read a really fun part, but it could be 5 minutes, Lisa.
That's fine. As long as you're okay with it.
Yeah, no, I just don't want to. I don't want to do too much, but it's really a fun section.
I'm all about the fun, Miss Julie. You know that.
Okay. Well, this is the day that in Constance and the Battle for Wonder, Book 1, that that Mrs. Folsom agrees to let her daughter go off and try being with the other kids at school so she can make a friend. And they're going in to register her for the first day. And they encounter this character. Her name is, I got to get you a picture of her because she's just awesome. Her name, well, awesome in an evil way, but so fun to write. Her name is Ms. Imperia Beasley. Do you see her there with her? She's the head facilitator of the Dumble Street Center for Child Preparation and Life Development. She's the lady there, the short lady. She's the, principal. And this is who Constance and Faye Folsom encounter when they go to register for the first day of school. Are you ready, children? Okay.
You're ready. Go ahead.
After breakfast, here we go. That's what's happening. Constance and her mother left the colorful Folsom world and walked up the long, curvy hill at the end of their road until they arrived at the Dumble Street Center for Child Development and Life Preparation. Constance walked past the massive gate, and they stepped into a world quite different from their own. A cracked sidewalk led up to a tall brick building that stood like a fortress in front of them. On either side of the walkway were towering trees, posted like soldiers around the students who were approaching the entrance. It seemed to Constance as if the guardian trees might come alive at any moment. A massive stone staircase ascended to the gray metal front doors, and over them hung the institution's motto in thick, dark letters. The order is the way. Faye glanced up at the motto and shook her head disdainfully. Don't they have any original ideas around here? I can barely stand this. It's all so stodgy and gloomy. Yes, I know. It's not like at our house, but look around, Mom. The kids seem fine with it, Constance said as a little girl on a gray scooter sped past them toward the bike rack. They didn't seem to notice the gray. I think they might just be learning interesting things that are just different from what I learned at home. She grabbed her mom's hand and gave it a reassuring squeeze. Well, Faye sighed, shaking her head. Let's get on with it before I change my mind and send you skipping back down that mountain we just climbed up to get here. Constance knew that her mother had never wanted anything to do with this place or its head facilitator, the pompous Ms. Imperia Beasley, whom Faye had bumped into around town a number of times. The short, round, and very pushy Ms. Beasley with her beehive hairdo, pointy nose, and prominent black mole on her flabby right cheek had made a terrible impression on Mrs. Falsom. The closer they got to the school's main entrance, the more nervous Constance grew. She felt like ping pong balls were bouncing around her insides. And if that weren't enough, Constance felt her ears were tingling, for she was sure that the other children were whispering about her as she entered the building with her artsy-looking mother. Faye's abundant red curls, flowing mismatched clothes, funky jewelry, and huge handbag were unusual and eye-catching. Constance noted every look cast their way as she continued listening intently for any snarky comments. And again, there's the picture of them going into the school. Noticing her daughter's anxiousness, Faye tried to make Constance feel more at ease. Now, she said, they're all just interested in us because we're so intriguing. They are probably looking forward to meeting you. I hope so, Constance decided to wish for the best. In a few minutes, they were sitting in Ms. Beasley's office. Miss Fallsworthy, at last. Welcome to the Dumble Street Center for Child Development and Life Preparation, Ms. Imperia Beasley said solicitously as she greeted them. I've reviewed Constance's educational history, and I'm glad to see that you are no longer denying her the benefits of our fine institution. She smiled as if it were a strain. As head facilitator here at Dumble Street, I welcome the opportunity to get young Miss Fallsworthy squared away. She drew a square in the air with her stubby fingers. And up to speed with our modern methods and high-level ordering. She took a chopstick from her beehive hairdo and pointed it at Constance. Though it may take a lot of effort to see that she keeps up after her years at home. Constance saw her mother's eyes flash like a lit sparkler. Actually, our name is Falsom, and Constance is probably way ahead of your typical students. She is quite advanced in all of her studies. Oh, really? This seemed to tick off the haughty Miss Beasley, who sat in her high-back swivel chair, staring down her nose at Mrs. Falsom. Well, we'll just see about that. I will have her take a battery of our conformity tests to see exactly what her level of ordering is. Ordering? Is that all you do? Faye dropped her huge handbag from her shoulder to the floor. What about learning inspiring history and reading exciting adventure books? What happened to spelling fabulous big words or writing creative stories? She waved her hands wildly. Don't you ever explore the majesty of math or teach kids to make glorious music and art? What about recess? What about fun? She jingled her bracelets. Oh, really, Ms. Falsitz, that old school education. Today, we have much better ways of preparing our students for real-world expectations. Ms. Imperia looked pityingly at Constance. Don't worry, dearie, we'll get you sorted out. We can remediate almost anyone with our new techniques. Remediate? You must be, Mrs. Falsom sputtered. Constance thought her mother was about to drag her out of the room, so she grabbed Faye's hand and said, Miss Beasley, like my mom said, our name is Falsom, and I'm ready to start now. What class will I be in? Well, I see here that you are 12 years old, so we'll start you out in Mr. Kumquat's average ordering class until we have you tested. He's in room 432. Okay, Constance said. Is he very nice? Ms. Beasley looked up from her paperwork. Nice? The whole thing is that he will be as nice as you make it, she scowled. Mind your P's and Q's, and things will be just ducky if you work hard to fit in with the rest of the students and, of course, conform to the order. She pulled out a large stack of forms from her desk. There you go, Ms. Faulty. I think we have all the info we need. If you'll just sign here and oh, here. Faye tapped her foot nervously as she searched her massive handbag for something to write with. Constance knew her mom believed in being prepared for any situation, so she was not surprised when Faye began digging through all sorts of odds and ends in search of her pen. Out came her salt and pepper packets, tissues, lipstick, beef jerky, squishy ball, extra buttons, dog treats, scissors, string, glue, and a handful of multicolored jelly beans. She dumped them all onto Miss Beasley's desk until at last Mrs. Falsam found her favorite turquoise feather quill fountain pen and a bottle of ink. Constance watched as Faye held her breath and squeezed her eyeballs shut. She could hardly believe her mother was going through with it. But there she was, dipping her special quill pen into her bottle of blue ink and actually signing the admittance forms to allow Constance to enter the GUP, the grown-up factory. As Faye scribbled her name, Constance noted that the signatures grew larger and messier on each page. Faye Falsam. Faye Falsam. Faye Falsam. Faye Falsam! She scribbled. Wow, Mom's about to blow. As soon as Faye scrawled the last signature, Ms. Beasley stood up, snatched the pages from her desk, and shoved them into a gray folder while the flustered Mrs. Falsam scooped up her ink bottle and began scooping up all her stuff and went back into her purse. Congratulations on your matriculation to our prestigious institution, Ms. Beasley said, holding out her hand to Constance. After a hasty shake of the girl's fingers, the head facilitator pulled her hand away abruptly and looked down upon Mrs. Falsam. I hope I have assured you of the superiority of our system at the center, Ms. False whatever. It is, as we shall say, interesting to meet you. Well, Ms. B's whatever, Faye spit out her response as Constance quickly interrupted her mother just in time to stop a spat. Excuse me, Miss Beasley, where will I find room 432? Good gracious, child, can't you figure anything out? Look at the numbers as you walk down the hall. It will be on 4th floor, hallway 3, door number 2. Mr. Kumquat is expecting you. Ms. Imperia Beasley dismissed the Falsams from her presence with a wave of her chubby hand. Toodaloo, she said, with a syrupy tone as she wriggled her thick, worm-like fingers and sent the Falsams on their way. Out in the hallway, Faye whispered into her daughter's ear. Have a wonderful day, Connie. Constance gave her mother a reassuring hug. It's going to be a great day, Mom. I'll see you later. Stay amazing. Mrs. Falsam feigned a smile, but shivered as she looked around the dull gray corridor. To Constance, the dim, unfamiliar hallways felt like they would lead her to new adventures and new friends. As she walked toward the stairs, she felt more grown up than she had ever felt before. Isn't that fun? Come on, there's some fun characters in there.
Hold on. I can't get back in. Oh, hold on. Now I can. Sorry, I couldn't get back in. I was like pushing buttons. I'm like, what? But I had you locked in there. It was, well, first of all, the theatrics were quite lovely. Oh, yes.
Yeah, and yes, there's an audiobook of this. There is an audiobook, definitely. It's already done. Send it off to the copyright office. There's going to be audiobooks for all of them. And we just need to sell. We need to sell 6,000 of these puppies right away, y'all.
That's just it. How many are you up to, Julie?
You know, I got so discouraged after I looked last time. This was a while back. See, I went and did this big speaking engagement, and I thought I'd get probably a couple of hundred orders. So I don't know. I have to look. But we have just begun to fight.
Oh, heck
and
yeah.
I know I saw because you guys were on the chat going, I bought it. I just bought it. I just bought it. I just bought it. So I'm encouraged by that. And if you haven't, just throw me 99 cents on Amazon for a digital copy. But honestly, you're going to, I'm telling you, the the illustrations and the layout and it's just beautiful. It's just really pretty. I'm so proud of it.
Well, you should be, because it's beautiful and it's fun. You gave me the original. I have the first amazing book. You gave that to me, so I have that
This one, right?
Yep, I have that.
Yeah.
So, and it's so cool. And
there are only 10 copies in existence of this one yet, because we just printed it to have it to make sure that everything was lined up properly and beautifully laid out.
Right. And so I want to have all the amazing. I want the entire amazing series.
Yes, you do. I swear you do. You totally do. And yes, and yeah.
Now, I'm also going to say that at the Daddy's Girl conference, we're going to have a table that's going to be set up for Miss Julie Lavender, so that people can go ahead and that if you can send me some cards, Julie, I will put them in every single one of the baskets, boxes, and whatever.
God. When is it? That is your one in September?
That's in September. Yeah. So if you send me cards, I'll give you my address. You could send it and I'll put them in everybody's thing. So then they can keep it with them. So then they can say, hey, just send this card.
Do you want that QR card?
Yeah.
I mean, what I did is I printed them really big. And
that's fine.
But they were, yeah, we'll talk about it. I ordered them. I'm thinking I might need a second printed one. I mean, it couldn't hurt, because it's going to be a classic. It's so fun.
It is going to be a classic, and I think especially for if you're buying gifts for people, it's a great gift for the holidays. They would be great stocking stuffers. You can give them if you have children who have children, you have grandchildren, or if you have nieces and nephews. That should be every single person should be getting it for those children. Because the way that you expand the kingdom is to teach the kingdom. And so even though it's not a Bible, it's just like the shack. People get all kind of butthurt about the shack, but the shack expanded the kingdom. Because you know what, Julie? I came from the shack. It was the shack that brought me into searching for the relationship with this God that he wrote about. So these books that you think, well, they really don't matter, or they're not this or that. No, they matter, because if they didn't matter, God wouldn't have created them, because they're already in heaven. Julie's just pulling them down, which is so cool. So the angel scribe is going to come and say, okay, this is what you're going to write.
Yeah, because we've got to tell a whole new generation what happened, and it needs to be clear enough that as they grow up, they say, we don't ever want that to happen again. It needs a cautionary tale of what happens to, and so there's a lot in them, and I'm very excited. And in book 2, don't you want your kids to know about the specially designed planet we live on? The concepts are just so big, and they can handle it. I'm sick of writing down to children all the time. Don't you remember when you would read a book and you wouldn't know what the word meant, but you could sound it out, but because of the context of the paragraph, you understood it. So it didn't stop you, but it made you feel so big and important that you could get that word. Right?
We have a saying. We say that's a 50-cent word. Well, my kids use a big word. I mean, they're adults, but we still I'm like, Sam, that's a $1 word. She goes, maybe 50 cents. But it's interesting because she tries to increase her vocabulary. She loves to read. So she would love these books. So I can't wait for them to come out.
Yeah. So thank you so much for encouraging me. And, Lord, we just put this in your hands, and I ask that you would open doors for the people you want me to share it with.
Come on.
And the influencers and the things. Because, to be honest with you, I'm not sure I want the other side knowing what I'm doing with these books. Sure. To be honest with you, I'm not sure I want them to know how subversive they are to their agenda. But I want it, like thousands of you guys to know it.
Yep. Well, I think that today was awesome. I think that, everything that God does is a wonder. And I think that you are wonderful. for being
Well,
so.
you're a wonder, Lisa. Come on, everybody. Hand clap. Don't we just love Lisa? Because, you know, we have to get to the point where we're so secure in our own weird human amazing. Like
Yes.
the book where the thing in the original book, Mrs. Amazing and the Seed, I was writing about a family that stayed intact, mother, father, family members in conflict, external pressure, and they worked it out. And they had their ups and their downs, and they had their doubts, and they questioned what they believed in, and they were even separated from one another. But they were amazing because they stayed in it together, and they let wonder change them, right?
Yeah.
And instead of all the books now, in order to be relevant, people want these dystopian books about all these terrible things and these missing family members and these strange, weird relationships and these new couplings and identities um, and can and I want to write about people that have lots of issues. They struggle, but they stay in it and they become amazing, you know, because with all their faults, they're faultsome. They're, you know, this, right? And they stay in it and they work it through, and because of the transformation, they become amazing. That's all we have, you guys. And once you know that about yourself and God does that for you as an individual, then you become generous like Lisa. And you can foster other people, because right when you don't know that healing of being full of faults and issues and then being transformed and becoming amazing, you don't think there's enough. There's not, you know, there's not enough for Lisa to put me, you know, forward, because she might not have enough. You know what I mean? This is that competition that comes up in the body of Christ, or with women with each other, and people where we compete and we say, well, oh, I don't know, she has more followers than I do, and you know, well, I don't know, I want the microphone. But the beauty is when you overcome fear at its core level, like I've taught about so often, and become transformed into your human, messy, sloppy, amazing version of what Jesus does on the earth. You got there's plenty of that to go around, right? For everybody.
But see, and that's the thing, kingdom. Because when you know that you belong. I know, I just saw that. Peppa's in the house.
Peppa's in the
house. Peppa's in the house. I always want to say Sister Salt and Peppa. You know why? Because she carries the salt. She carries the salt.
You missed it, Pepper. I just did a book reading.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Okay, so if you guys are interested, you want to go over and you want to go and hold on. This is that's what you're going to scan right there. So you're going to take that QR code, you're going to go and scan it. Okay. And then that is going to lead you right to where you need to go. But then you can also get this. It's in Crown Chats. And you can go and you can share it.
QR code was for a specific purpose. It shows you where you can get this book for 99 cents on a plethora of platforms. And it really does help me if people would buy it on multiple platforms, even though it takes you 5 extra minutes to open up an account in Kobo or Rakuten or something. Because in order to beat the algorithm, they need to see that the orders are coming in from different places. So that QR code reflects only digital sales, and it'll show you where you can get it. You can always go on Amazon and just look for Constance in the Battle for Wonder. There is another Julie Lavender, I gotta tell you. She's really nice.
Yeah, there is.
Her homeschool mom.
And she's also a Christian.
Yeah, she is a homeschool mom, and she has written some books, but not
the Wonder.
Not the Wonder series. So you can go there and it's pretty easy to find and get your physical copy ordered in advance, as well as your digital.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna end with this. So hold on.
A maze of extraordinaries, and hidden in the zany maze that is you, I'll be blunt, there's a treasure that's worth the hunt. You're a maze of mysteries and doubts. You're a maze of ups and downs and outs. You're a maze possibilities. You're a maze of extraordinaries.
There's a treasure that is hidden in you.
Yes, it's true.
You're amazing.
No, you're amazing.
I'm amazing?
And I'm amazing.
I so love that song. I love that there's a treasure in you, and that you have to hunt for it sometimes. Sometimes you need people. That's why, like, one of the things I joke about and say I'm a gold digger, because I love to pull the gold out of people.
Yes,
because
you
there's gold
are.
in them there wells.
So good.
That was so much fun. So we're gonna see you again. We're gonna
Yes.
do another word of wonder. Right? Isn't that it? Word of
It's a wonder.
It's a wonder. I don't know why I keep saying. I know.
She came up correctly, and then neither of us could remember what it was. It's a wonder.
It's a wonder. It's a wonder with Julie Lavender, and she will be on. We'll have her on, and she'll talk about the book. She'll read some more from the different books. Maybe next time you come on, you might read a little bit of the new one.
Yeah, you know what? I might, because what I typically do is make my family sit around and let me read to them what I've just written, so I can see how it lands. Right?
Yep. That's what you did with me.
I know, and it really helps as an author to hear yourself
It does.
read it, and then, and then also all my typos. Oh my gosh! If anybody ever gets a text message from me, you know that it's not typos. It's kind of practically a dialect in my family coming from me.
Well, you are awesome, and you are wonderful, and I am so blessed to have you in my life, Miss Julie Lavender.
Well, I love you, Lisa, and thank you, everyone. Thank you for supporting me. Honestly, you guys have been the most supportive audience, because you actually went out and did it. You actually went out, and I will check the numbers and stuff. I promise.
Okay.
You went out, and when we talked about it, your audience has actually just gone out and said, "Yeah, I'm ordering it. Let's get her done."
Let's get her done, and that's what we need to do. So let's do almost like they do a telethon. Let's start putting. No, seriously, let's do a chart, so that, because what that does, when you actually see how far you have to go, it actually increases people to actually break out of their box to go and do.
I will. You know what? I will, because as I follow up with some of these other contacts too, that'll give me. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Come on.
Okay.
Plus the t-shirts. I think we need t-shirts. You're amazing.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Come on. And then you could put, the wonder. So I don't know. I would love to see that.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
All right, love you. Have a fantastic day. Okay, bye-bye. So if you guys are interested, once again, this is the information that you need. Isn't she awesome? I love that little song. Seriously, it is so cool. It is just so cool. So go over. Yeah, right? I would totally wear a t-shirt. Hey, Stax, she is phenomenal. Seriously, she is so phenomenal. And you know what? Honestly, this is the thing. It is a battle for wonder, right? You're a maze of possibilities. Come on. I wear that. You're a maze of possibilities. There is so much that you can do. There is so much you can do. My goodness. Honestly, if I could, it's just something that I do. I know I do understand marketing. I do understand marketing. And so I could totally see all that fun stuff. So I see t-shirts, I see hats. I would wear a hat that says you're a maze of possibilities. Come on. I'm just saying. Where is that Amy Graff? Yeah, we haven't seen Amy in a while. We miss Amy. So I don't have much to share except there's always a little except, because I was like, I have Julie Lavender on, so I can just kind of sit back, and as AF will tell you, I'll be like texting him in the morning, I got nothing. So I really got nothing, but I do know that I got something, because I'm not like saying okay, goodbye. So the thing about Julie, the thing about some of our other friends who have written books and stuff, including yours truly. It's the prayers that keep them going. So if we can continue to pray into what Julie's doing, if you can pray into what I'm doing, if you can pray into some of our other friends, because it's the prayer that's almost like the river that keeps things going. So, yeah, I got nothing. Good morning. I got nothing most days, because God always has something. And as we partner with Him, then we say, okay, I don't have an agenda, but Papa, what's your agenda? And let's get this thing done. Because his agenda right now is to help those that look. That's the whole thing. I mean, we were talking yesterday about like the gifts and the talents inside of you are not for you. Not for you. If you think they're for you, check again. They're for the kingdom. They're for the body of Christ. They're for expanding the kingdom, right? And so when we look at everything, we can say, okay, so Lisa, you have a platform. What are you going to do with it? Well, I think I'm going to promote myself and talk about me. And all you can hear is, wrong answer. Wrong answer. No, this platform is for him. This is his platform. And whatever he wants to do is what we do in expanding kingdom and bringing people on to share and to teach and to equip. That's exactly what it's supposed to be for. Platforms are supposed to be able to get the message out, to speak and preach about the good news. It's never supposed to be about the person. And if it is about the person, then they're not really talking kingdom. They're talking me dumb. And anytime you talk about me, you be dumb. Can I just say that? So when we are looking and seeing at what God is doing right now through these books that Julie did and through the different things that other people are doing, it's all about expansion, because he is a God who creates. He is a God of wonder. He is a Papa who is constantly doing things and moving in ways, right? Oh, that's good AF, right? It's your message, right? You're just a message. That's it. It's a message on Messenger. Okay. So like that's the whole thing, we just need to go out and just speak this stuff and to teach and to share. Like I have Kim Robinson coming on tonight, and she's going to talk about her experiences. And you know what? Look, if I never had an experience where I actually saw Jesus or I went to heaven, I would be a little skeptical too. I would be a little skeptical too. But when we read the Bible and we can see that the disciples and the apostles, that they had encounters, they were translocated, they traveled in the spirit. We talk about that they've been to heaven, that Paul says, I don't know whether it was a vision or I was in heaven. I know not what. It was a dream. Don't know. But the truth is that God hasn't changed. God hasn't changed. There were supernatural things in the Old Testament. We saw lots. You can see lots and lots of stories of the supernatural in the Old Testament. You can see lots and lots of supernatural stuff in the New Testament. I don't know. It's old. It's new. It's the same. God doesn't change. He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, forever. He is eternally the same. His character, his nature, a part about us, he created us to be in his image. Think about it. Isn't that a wonder? Like you can look at all the beautiful things around in creation, but think about the wonder that is wonderfully you. You are wonderfully and beautifully made, right? That's what it says. It says you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You are a wonder. Everything that is inside of you is a wonder. The way that you process, it's a wonder. The way that you create, it's a wonder. There is nobody else in the world who is like you. Nothing. There is nothing that is like you. Nothing. No one. Nothing. You are special, unique, one of a kind. Ah, thank you, Nicole. That makes me want to cry. That makes me want to cry. Because there are times that, you can have the enemy and saying, oh, do you really matter? If people aren't listening to you. But the Lord said to me one time, he says, if just one person, Lisa, gets to see me through you, is that enough? just one. And I said, okay, that's it. That's it. So you guys are very kind. But you know what? All you're hearing is you're just hearing about the wonder and the beautiful father that I love so much. I love him. I love Papa so, so much. And he is so, so faithful. So faithful. So faithful. That is who he is. And so I just share my experiences. I share my stories. I share my relationship with my father with you guys. That's all I do. And so, what I hope that you see when I share, I hope you can see the transparency because I'm trying to reveal a side of God through my eyes that you don't get to see through anybody else's eyes. There's nobody else who's going to have the encounters, the things that I have. They might be similar. They might be very, very similar, extremely similar, but they're never going to be like mine because it's unique, because I'm unique, because each of the encounters is going to be based on my relationship with him, my personality, the way that I understand it, the way that I accept it, the way that I engage in it. So each one is going to be different. It's like if you have 4 kids, okay, and you take the kids separately to the boardwalk, okay, because I'm by the beach. I'm just saying, you take each of the kids to the boardwalk, okay? Are you going to have the same experience with each kid? Are you going to have the exact same experience? Is it going to be exactly the same? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Might be the same place, might be the same idea, but it's going to be completely different. It's going to be so unique. It's going to be something happened and this happened. And that, it doesn't mean that the other children aren't as important, right? That's right, Miza, right? It doesn't mean that it's less important or somebody's more important. What it means is that it's unique and it's personal, just for you. So as much as I take a child to the same event with the same purpose, it's still going to be different. And when we start to look at our relationship with God that way, we can get excited because we're going to do things with Papa that nobody else gets to do. How about that? Like, even if we look at the disciples, even if we look at them and look at their lives, each of them had their own relationship with Jesus, each of them, right? And each of them did different things, even though they might have done similar things, but they were still different because they were with them. So every time that God does something just with you, it's unique. It's unique. It's special. Don't discount the things that you've done. Don't discount the time that you've prayed and you've seen God move in a certain way. Even if you didn't get to, it wasn't an experience that, was like somebody else's. It doesn't matter. Hey, MB. Hey, Audrey. Love you too, Pumpkin. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of having a personal relationship with Papa, is it's yours. Nobody else can have it. So be amazed at that. Be amazed. Be in wonder that he chose you, that he sent his son to go find you, to bring you back to him, just so that he can have time with you. Because that is who you are. You're his kid, and he wants to spend time with you. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Other people have their own stuff to do. But guess what? You have stuff to do too. You have so many things that God has planned. And if we're always thinking about what somebody else is doing, we're going to miss what we need to be doing. So don't worry about it. That's not about that. Stay fixed and focused on him. Papa, what do you want to do today? Papa, where do you want to go? What do you want to see? What should I do? Tell me. Each and every day, you can wake up with an anticipation to a possibility for I want to say a confrontation, but it's not confrontation, but to have um, a encounter, we'll put it that way, that you can have an encounter with the Father each and every day just by looking outside. You can see a bird, or you can see, nature, or you could be on driving in your car and you can listen to the radio and all of a sudden a song makes more sense to you, or you could be watching the television and then all of a sudden something speaks to you or reminding you of a movie or something. It's a wonder he always speaks. It's a wonder he always wants to have a time with you, just you. And I'm going to share this and then I'm going to go. There was one time that I called up Mama Karen, and you guys know she's one of my spiritual moms. So I called up Mama Karen and I said, I said, I feel the presence of God, and he told me to call you. And so we started to pray. And as we started to pray, we were in two separate states. We both had an encounter. So we were praying, we were laughing, we were on the floor, we were praying, and we both had this encounter. And as I was dancing with Jesus, I looked to my right, and guess who I saw? I saw Mama Karen, and she was dancing with Jesus at the same time. And I looked and I saw that she was with Jesus, and they were laughing, and she was spinning, and she was in a blue dress. Okay, that's what I saw. And then I turned and I saw Jesus, and I'm like, wait, I'm with you. And then I looked over there and I saw that she was with him, and I said, whoa, wait, hold on. I'm with you, but she's with you. And he said, that's right, Lisa. He goes, I can be with anybody at the same time. I am everywhere. And he goes, in each of my relationships with my children are important. So when they need me, I go to them. So just because I'm with you doesn't mean that I can't be with them. And so what I am showing you is that is her timeline. This is where she is. That is her sphere. That is what she is doing in her time. This is what I'm doing with you in your time. And right now they are parallel. So it was almost like two parallel worlds, and I could see that it was separated, but yet I could see. And so when the vision ended and we finished praying, I said to Karen, I said, I saw you. And she goes, you did? And I said, you were dancing with Jesus and you were wearing a blue dress. She goes, I was. And that happens to us all the time when we pray and we see things and we see the same things, because she can see what I'm doing. I can see what she's doing, because guess what? I am in him and he is in me, and she is in him and he is in her. And so we are all in together. We're in this together. We are in this together. So let's just stop thinking about what somebody else has. It's just like with the prodigal son. The prodigal son came back to the father, right? But the brother was upset, and he said, how come you didn't do this? And how come you didn't do this? Why didn't you have a feast for me? Why didn't you have that for me? Well, he suffered from the orphan spirit because he had it in front of him. He just never saw it. And so when you see something else, it's in front of you. It's in front of you. Don't start looking at other people and what they're doing. Look and see what God wants to do with you. He thinks that you're amazing. He thinks that you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are special, you are his. And he loves all of his children equally. That's what I tell my kids. I love you all equally. But my relationships with my children are very different. My relationship with my son is extremely different than my relationship with my daughter. But that doesn't mean that I don't love them the same. I love them equal. That I would die for one, I would die for the other. It doesn't matter. I will get for one, I will get for the other. I will discipline the one, I will discipline the other. I love them equal. There is no difference in my love for any of them. But my relationship, that's special. My relationship with my son, it's not the same relationship that he has with his dad. Not saying that that's not special. My relationship with my son is very special, but my relationship with my daughter is very special. It's different than one that she has with her father, with Rob. It's very different, and I'm okay with it because I'm not him. He's not me. We have to be okay being who we are. Because when you start to understand who you are and you start to understand how awesome you are, you don't worry about anybody else. You're okay being you. And that's my prayer for you, is that you are okay for being you, because you, my friend, are amazing. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to please go and support Julie. Please go and support Julie, because first of all, we love her and she's ridiculously amazing. And we want to expand the kingdom, because this is something that God is doing. So I just bless you today. I bless you in everything that you're doing. I bless you every place that you're going. Don't forget that tonight I have Kim Robinson. We're going to talk about heaven. That's right. We're going to talk about heaven, because you know what? You don't have to die to get there. Can I just say that? You don't have to die to get there. Sometimes, God translocates people and they go and have experiences. So it is a thing. So don't let people tell you that that's not true. No, they just haven't experienced it. And you know what? Some people just like to tell other people that they didn't have it. I'm just saying, because it makes them feel better. Don't discount what God is doing. God does things in such ways that if you let him, he will blow your mind. So, yeah, it's going to be so much fun. All right, guys, have an awesome day. Don't forget, you are amazing.
A maze of extraordinaries.
And hidden in the zany maze that is you, I'll be blunt, there's a treasure that's worth the hunt.
You're a maze of mysteries and doubts. You're a maze of ups and downs and outs.
You're a maze of possibilities. You're a maze of extraordinaries.
There's a treasure that is hidden in you.
Yes, it's true.
You're amazing.
No, you're amazing.
I'm amazing?